everyone, it's Samantha back here. Welcome back to my channel. Hope everybody's doing okay, and I hope life's treating you very well. Things here are a very beautiful day today in the northwest of England, so I hope that you're having a nice day too. Okay, so today I thought we'd have a look at these gorgeous links. Now today I'm going to show you how to make both versions of these links. They're perfect for chains, perfect for anything really. I think they look really elegant and really sophisticated. These are just basic connectors, and these ones here have 3 little beads linked in between. And how gorgeous are those? So we'll have a look at how to make those. You can make them larger or smaller. I've made smaller ones here to go in between these lovely herringbone wrap links here, and you can make them as large or as small as you want, and here's quite a largish version with some 8mm beads. So you can make the giant versions if you want. Principle's exactly the same. Okay, so we'll go ahead and have a look at how to make these little cuties here. Okay, so we'll go through a list of materials. I'll just pop these out of the way for now. So for both of the links, the ones with the beads and also the ones without the beads, you're going to need some 1mm wire, which is 18 gauge for those of you guys who use gauge. So that's 1mm 18 gauge copper wire, or any wire of your choice actually. It makes no difference, I don't think, for this. For the wrapping side of things, okay, we're going to need 0.5 millimeter wire, and I'll put the equivalents either on the screen or in the description box for you. Okay, you will need some chain nose pliers. I always say go for 2 pairs, and then you've got every base covered. You'll need some flush cutters, as always. And for me, I'm using my 6-step bell making pliers. Mine are 2 to 9mm increments, okay, just in case you're wondering. And you will need, if you want to hammer very lightly, the hoops, the loops on these guys, which I tend to like to do. Number 1, it looks quite nice, and number 2, it gives them a little bit more stability. So you'll need a simple chasing hammer and a bench block, which you can pick up pretty affordably from online retailers. Okay, you will need a very simple ruler just to measure out your lengths. And of course, for these little guys with the little beads in, obviously you're going to need some beads. So I'm using these beautiful little beads that I use quite a lot. I think they look very elegant in pieces. I think they're probably about a 6/0 little seed bead. You can use tiny 3mm, 4mm beads if you like, just as long as the hole is large enough to take your wire. Okay, so I'll clear the table away and we'll get going, and I'll show you how to make these really cute versatile links. Okay, so I'll see you in a second. And we're back. Hopefully you guys have got your materials ready now. So we'll go ahead and make this particular wrapped link first. Okay, really perfect for the beginner, but just look at how effective they are for necklaces, etc. So okay, so let's go ahead and make that wrapped one first. So most of us have got 1mm 18 gauge wire in our stash, haven't we? So we'll go ahead and use that. So you need 4mm of wire, sorry, 4 centimeters of wire. 4mm would be absolutely tiny. 4 centimeters of wire. Okay, so we have our wire, and we'll be using the second step. Again, if you guys are proficient in using your round nose, then please do go ahead and use those. I'm not great with those, which is why I like the consistency of the bell maker. So place the wire right at the end and simply rotate it against your thumb. Pop a little kink into the end. So essentially you've made an eye pin. Okay, turn it round the other way and in the opposite direction. So the hoop opening is in the opposite direction. Again, twist against your thumb, like so, and then just pop a little bit of a kink in the wire. Okay, so essentially you've got a double-sided head pin, like so. Okay, so if we measure it against our little guy here, yeah. What I like to do now is to give each of the hoops a little bit of a tap, mainly because, well, there's two reasons. I like the way it looks, and also the fact that it gives it a little bit more stability, because you work hardening the copper. Okay, so right on the end, both sides, just give it a bit of a tap, and that's all you need to do. Okay, now as you can see, the copper does open up a little bit when you work hard on it, so literally just come on in and just give it a bit of a squeeze to tighten it up again. Same on the other side. Okay, so that's our first component. So we need to bring in the 0.5mm wire now, and you need enough to wrap around the length of the straight here. So I'm going to suggest, let's have a think, about 17-18 centimeters, which will give you plenty. Okay, want to make sure that you've got too much rather than not enough. Now 0.4mm wire is usually what we use to wrap, but I think the 0.5, with it being just slightly thicker, is better for these pieces. Okay, so I start by taking my short end here, maybe about 1.5 inches, and wrap around 2 or 3 times just to anchor and push towards the end. Okay, and then all you need to do simply is to very carefully, making sure that all the wraps are nice and secure and tight. As usual, if not, just come in with your plier and just give it a bit of a tighten. Okay, so all you're doing is literally wrapping your 0.5 wire around this base here, keeping everything nice and tight. And I don't know why it is, every single time I sit down to record a video, the pleasure flights start. I live near the sea, actually, guys, and there's lots of pleasure flights around my area. So always seems to happen as soon as I sit down. Okay, so actually we've got quite a lot of wire left over there, so maybe 15 centimeters, guys, just to give yourself, you know, enough room for maneuver. Okay, so make sure that everything is nice and tight and all of the coils are nicely tightened together. Okay, experiment with your lengths of wire. I think you could probably get away with 12-13 centimeters perhaps. You need to have a little bit on either end in order to get a grasp hold. Okay, working with very short pieces of wire isn't fun, hurts your fingers. Okay, so when we have wrapped and you're happy with everything and everything is nice and tightly wound over, okay, so that's our little wrapped link. How cute is that? Okay, so I use these to make connectors in my necklaces. Okay, so that's the first one done. So let's have a look at this second piece here. So you want exactly the same length, but we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to add the beads onto this one. So again, 4 centimeters of wire, we flush cut the end. Okay, and we measure out our 4 centimeters. Just pop that out of the way. This time though, however, what we want to do is to put a loop on one end, not both. Okay, so the same principle applies. Make a P and then make a kink in the wire so you have your eye pin essentially. Next thing we need to do now is to come in with our little beads. Okay, so I'm just going to see if I can pull out little 3 turquoisey beads that I'd like to use on this one, like a greeny shiny turquoisey colour. Greeny shiny turquoise. I think some manufacturer needs to use that moniker for a new set of beads. Greeny shiny turquoisey. Okay, so what we need to do now is to pop each one of the beads onto our little eye pin that we have made. So 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so we have our little pins on here. The next thing we need to do is to make another loop to secure them on. Okay, so come in again with the second step and make a little loop as always. Okay, and again put a little kink in the wire so we have this. Okay, you see that? The next thing we need to do is to come in with our wire, shorter piece this time, I don't know, about 10 centimeters, something like that. Okay, and we come in with our piece. So we want to secure the wire at this left hand side. Obviously if you're left-handed, reverse this. So I put 3 wraps at the start. So 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, you see that? So we tighten everything up and place a bead. So the next thing we want to do is to keep these 2 beads to one side and this bead as close to the wrap as possible. Slightly fiddly before you get going. As you get going, wind your wire around and then over once. So we have this. Okay, second bead along and squeeze it up to your wire wrap that you've just done. Same thing, so holding everything nice and secure, take your wrapping wire. If your beads want to fight you, fight them back. Make sure you win. And wire wrap over the top and over and back under. Can you see that? So we have two wrapped beads here. Okay, so then just squeeze your third bead on, and again wire wrap over. You need to squeeze everything along here because we need to fit another 1 and another 2 wraps in there. Okay, so that's your beads secured onto your little link component. Okay, again, I know there are going to be some people out there that will moan about the amount of waste I have. That's fine. You don't like waste, use shorter pieces. I use these guys for all sorts of different things. Okay, so not these little short things here, but certainly if I've got any left over, then I do make quite a lot of things, so I do reuse it. Okay, so the only thing you need to do now is to just give these a little smush, just to make sure that everything's in place and everybody's happy. Again, on both ends. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a beautiful beaded link which is wrapped similarly to this link here. Get my huge hands out of the way so you can see what we're playing with. Okay, so that's as easy as that, guys. I just think they're really pretty, and you can put the wraps atop or you can put them to the side, whichever you like. If you prefer, you can just give that a gentle tap on either side, just on the edge, just to, like I say, make it a little bit more secure. And then these guys will be used with a couple of little, I've just used 2 little jump rings in between each link just to make this gorgeous chain. Okay, so I hope you have fun making those. Really simple, but again, super effective, perfect for the beginner. So have a go and let me know how you get along, and I'll meet you in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, so have a lovely week. Speak to you soon, guys. Bye.